Morning, everybody. My name's Darlene and I have Parkinson's. Most people know Bill. I would like to welcome, I have a lot of new subscribers and I'd like to welcome you all, introduce you. This is my husband, Bill, and I wanted to let you get to know us just a little bit. The subject that I'm going to talk about today, we often talk about the things that are important to us as patients, but we forget that there are some important things that a spouse of a patient needs to know. So if you have a spouse if you have Parkinson's and you have a spouse, there are things that you should be talking about with them. So we're going to kind of go over just a little random list. I got some of these off the internet. I got some of them out of my head. Just talk about things that I think are important or a few other people have thought were important. The first thing that I'd like to say is, as a spouse, you're a care partner, not just a caregiver. Now, when I say that, what I'm kind of meaning is you can't get so caught up in the caregiving that you forget you're a married couple and that you need to act like a married couple, not a caregiver and a patient. You know, the patient doesn't want to be the patient all the time. So I think that it's important that people remember that you may help me and do a lot of things, but that's not the purpose for us to be here. How do you feel about that?
You're right. I have to.
Well, we all know that I'm right.
That's it. I'm not saying anything else.
Go ahead.
Oh, I try to be helpful. Sometimes I'm not.
Well, you're pretty helpful most of the time. Sometimes we do a little prodding, but that's because we're husband and wife. Like
Right.
that's normal. The other thing is to remember that you need to take care of yourself. You need to have a social life outside of your spouse, not isolating. Now, sometimes a spouse isn't willing to sort of let their spouse go off and have things that they do on their own, but it's very important. Like when I was well, I did things on my own. I went to a weight loss group. I did different things that I enjoyed doing. And Bill, you always had people that you went and did things with, and I think that's important to remember that even though as you age your circle of friends gets smaller,
Oh yeah.
you still need to do, like, I mean, in the building here, you could go down and play cards or whatever. And I think it's important to remember you need to do those things for yourself, you know. Give yourself time after you hear the diagnosis to adjust to the new reality. Life is about to change when you get that diagnosis, even if you don't see it change beginningly, but it is going to change. And so you have to give yourself time to adjust to that. Did you find things changed very quickly, or did they take time? And
It took time.
yeah, I feel now that it's going quicker.
Yes.
Yeah, you're a man of few words.
Very few.
Yes, an interviewer would have a heck of a time with you.
True.
Okay, find a support group that works for you. Now, do you know like what different kinds of support groups there could be?
I think so.
Okay, like what?
Well, there's probably a Parkinson group for spouses.
Right, you could go online, you could go in person, you could talk to a counselor, you could talk to a pastor, you could just have a good friend, you know? It's just to find a support system that works for you. Accept and plan for change. Change is inevitable, so therefore rather than fighting it, accept it and then work a plan to get there. Like, I'm kind of fighting the fact that, you know, there's going to come a time when I won't be able to live on my own here. But
kick you out.
No, I don't mean on my own. Us being on our own. Like, there's going to come a time when we will probably have to make a change, and I don't want to do that just now, but I can see it coming, and so therefore, I think it's, rather than being shocked by it, we should plan for it.
True.
So, this one here. Communication is important. Don't shut down. Express how you feel. Like, if you're angry about something or you feel like the world is treating you bad, you need to be able to express that in a safe place. And that's, I think, what husbands and wives do for each other.
True.
Oh, I don't know about this one. It says keep a sense of humor because laughter helps. It helps if the sense of humor is real humor. Some humor
Thanks
is
a lot.
some humor is kind of dry.
Oh, it's still humor.
It's still humor. You're right, it is. Laughter helps, keeps things going. Celebrate small joys and victories. I celebrated this last week, did I not?
Yes, you did.
I crossed my legs. I haven't crossed my legs in years. I celebrated that with gusto, and I'm sitting here with my legs crossed at the moment. So celebrate small joys because you don't get big ones all the time. So take the small ones. Take time to be together, not just in the same place, but actually being together. Like we are in the same house and we're together all the time.
Yep.
But we're not actively doing stuff together all the time. So I think that it's important for us to say, hey, let's play a game of Yahtzee. Hey, let's watch a movie together. Hey, let's make dinner together.
Yeah, well, we just watched a movie.
We did just watch a movie. We watched How the Grinch Stole Christmas. The last one says, give back and share with others. In other words, if you are at a support group, don't just take information, give information. You know, like share what you know, and it's always better if you share. That's how I feel.
Sure.
Now I'm going to let you do the story today. It's your sister, and you know the story as well as I do. We were living in Surrey. So you tell the fine folks out here our little story today.
Tell them that I'm doing the story, though.
I just did.
Oh.
I just said, you're doing the story.
Yeah. I'm doing a story about my sister. When we lived in Surrey, we had a dog, a German Shepherd Malamute Cross.
Big dog.
Big dog. And my sister and her husband came out to visit us. They went into the backyard. They got into the backyard.
You have to say we weren't home.
We weren't home at the time. They got into the backyard, and the dog wouldn't let them leave.
They thought we wouldn't be very long, so they would just go into the backyard and play with the dog and sit at the picnic table till we got home. And we were a couple hours, and when we got home, we found them in the backyard, and having been there for a while, I said, well, why did you stick around? Why didn't you just go home? And she said, the dog wouldn't let us go. We were playing with him, and now he wants us to stay and play. So they stayed and played till we came home. I said, good thing we weren't gone for the weekend.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's us for today. We shall talk to, we got company coming tonight. Our grandson's coming over. So we are going to we just bought him a high chair. So we're going to get everything cleared around so that he is able to crawl on the floor and eat his little puffs in his new high chair. And I think we're going to have a great visit. So thanks for joining us tonight, and welcome to all the new subscribers, and we'll see you in the comments. Oh, and by the way, you'll notice I wasn't very wiggly because my meds aren't working right now. So that's why I was sitting nice and still.